This was such a mistake. Be careful out there. Be careful out there. Be careful out there. And I will see you here again.
This whole adventure started when I decided that it's time I started taking advantage of these opportunities coming my way to get out in the world and experience something new, maybe even scary.
Matt said, do you want to come with us? Matt and David Wolff's channel, Exposing the Strange, they want to go goblin hunting in eastern Kentucky. And I said yes.
Besides the In-Between, there are 3 other channels involved.
Matt Emch, the 412.
David Wolffe, Exposing the Strange.
BJ LaPier from BJ LaPier, author illustrator.
So we all worked together for about 6 weeks beforehand to make sure that we have all our bases covered. If you're wondering why goblins, well, check out this episode on the 2 famous goblin cases in Kentucky. And considering this is my first paranormal investigation ever, goblins seem a lot less scary than, say, hunting a dog man. It is after 1 o'clock in the morning, and we are set to leave at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. We still have to pack. All right, after a whole whopping 3 hours of sleep, we are getting ready to get on the road. We haven't even started yet, and we're already a half an hour late. And we are on our way. And we're only 44 minutes late getting on the road. Woo! That's it. And we got our Squatch Man with us. All right, we're at our first stop at Waterloo, Iowa. And can I just tell ya, the employees of the Hy-Vee in Waterloo, Iowa are phenomenal. They're just so friendly. Everybody was like, hi. We're about to get back into the car and go for leg number 2. All right, you guys, anybody who is a fan of the Hellier series knows that the whole thing revolves around synchronicities. This name shows up here and the same name shows up there. Synchronicities. Well, I just gotta tell you, I'm listening to a podcast about the event. Where did the survivor go after the dogman attack on the family of 4 that were out camping? He went back to his hometown of Cedar Rapids. When did he say that? Exactly as we in our car, like right now, are in Cedar Rapids. Oh yeah. And once they rescue him, where did they take him? They took him to a small airport in Hopkinsville, which is also where we're gonna try to stop by tomorrow. Synchronicities, I'm telling ya. They're gonna start popping up. We're at pit stop number 3, Hannibal, Missouri. It's gonna be a long drive, but we're gonna make it. We're gonna get there. Last pit stop before we get to the hotel. We're just outside of St. Louis, Missouri now, and in 3.5 hours, we will be in Kentucky. All right. We are up bright and early this morning. No matter what happens, it's going to be an interesting day. We're on it. The bridge that takes us into the LVO. We are met by some longtime friends of ours, Tazariah and Nathanael, who know way more about shooting video in the real world than we do. But that means I have to get used to telling the stories in front of an audience. Comfort zone stretch for sure.
What do you want, Caroline? Say it again.
No.
It's all good.
Anthony, in the shot.
What? What shot?
B-roll. Dink dink.
Caroline ran into her very first in-person fan sighting today.
Cody Cox.
Cody Cox.
Yes.
That
who
is
was
so.
a super gentleman. He was very cool about it, very chill.
just said, I'm a fan.
That is so nuts.
I am never gonna get used to having fans. I don't think that's ever gonna happen. After shooting for about 9 hours, we wrap it up in the LBL and jump in the car for another 3 hours to get to Tazariah's house to spend the night. 6 a.m. We've been on the road for an hour already after 4 hours of sleep. We're both pretty exhausted. Yesterday was a marathon day at the LBL that just wiped us out. We're on our way to Pikeville into the Hellier area. It'll be interesting to see how this day plays out, how maybe we'll be able to get a little bit of sleep before we go out goblin hunting tonight. But we have the town hall this afternoon, so we gotta be awake and ready for that as well. I'm sure the adrenaline will take over and we'll just be ready, but we'll see. I'm a little nervous. We don't know if 2 people are gonna show up to this town hall. We don't know if 100 people are gonna show up. We have no clue what's gonna happen. But we have no idea like where we're gonna be able to go hunting tonight or tomorrow night for that matter. I would feel a whole lot better if we had a little bit more information at this point, but we're just gonna roll with it and see what happens. I am Carol Ann Reed. My channel is The InBetween. I am actually not a paranormal investigator. I am a storyteller. I'm kind of tagging along with this paranormal group, kind of the newbie on the block, just to kind of see what happens. So I'm here to dip my toes in the water.
I feel like you've picked an amazing, not just Hellier, but I feel like all of Pike County is like a super great place to investigate all kinds of paranormal.
When I looked over there on that day, I seen what looked like a little girl in like Victorian era, white dress, white hat, just sitting and swinging on there.
And at night, he was sleeping in that room and a large ball, an orb, went from one bed to the other from that hole.
Around here, there's definitely been a lot of experiences that I've had personally, just between the tree knocks. I've seen several partial prints, and then you hear like just bipedal crunch. Either I'm not alone and that's a person, or that's definitely like something's right here.
He passed away. For the next 2 years, the phone in their house would ring. My grandmother was still living.
It would ring every night. We would get 2 rings at 9:05. But I always felt that was him trying to get in touch with us, you know, to let us know everything's okay.
They saw an image on horseback. It was a white image, and it was an indigenous person that was actually sitting on that horse rather, and he was spotted several times.
We see 3 lights in a triangle pattern hovering in the trees. Sort of changed colors from like purple to orange. It hovered there for quite a while, then it just took off.
We was getting done fishing and we was filming a little bit, and I just kind of went off to the woods a little bit by myself and just filmed a little bit. I started hearing it like started sounding like basically like organ music, like weird music.
As far as Octavia Hatcher, I've looked into that a lot. Do you know the story?
I know the bare bones. I haven't dug deep into it, but I know the story, yeah. I want to introduce you to one Octavia Hatcher. The story starts in 1889 with James Hatcher. He's 30 years old, and at this point, he is a very rich man. He's got lots of businesses, he's got properties, he's a wealthy guy, right? Good catch. He meets Octavia who is 18 at the time, and the two are smitten by the love bug. They fall in love immediately, they get married, and Octavia soon gets pregnant with their son, Jacob. Doesn't take more than a heartbeat before tragedy strikes. Poor little Jacob, who's buried right here, dies within days. Both James and Octavia are devastated, but especially Octavia. She is crushed. Jacob dies in January of 1891. Octavia goes to bed. She's so depressed, and she stays there. She never actually gets back out. By April of 1891, she falls into a coma, and on May 2nd, she is pronounced dead. The doctors say it was an unknown disease. Those around her say she grieved herself to death. Now, it is May in Kentucky in 1891 when embalming isn't a thing, so they needed to get her in the ground as soon as possible. So they quickly hold a funeral, they get her in the ground. End of story, right? No. Not long after that, more people in town start getting a sickness that puts them into a coma and depresses their respiration so much that they're almost dead. People think maybe they're dead, and they're not. Jacob hears about this and he's thinking, oh my God, maybe did that happen to Octavia? So he has her body exhumed, only to find out the worst is true. Octavia was buried alive. She's in her coffin. The top of the coffin is all scratched up and ripped up. Her fingernails are torn off, and she has a screaming mask on her face of terror. James is obviously crushed. They bury her again. She's buried right here next to Jacob. He then commissions this marble statue behind me from France of his beloved Octavia, and sets it up so that it's overlooking downtown Pikeville. He then builds a hotel just down the hill and maintains a residence on the top floor for the rest of his life, which is like the next 40, 50 years, so that he can look out his window, look up on the hill, and see Octavia whenever he needs to, and she is always looking down on him as well. Oh my gosh, isn't that like the coolest ghost story? Now, we're not really sure if that's true or not, but there are reasons to believe it is true. There's reasons to believe it's not true. So you guys can make up your mind.
The story was she's facing Pikeville. You'll see that when you go up there. And on Halloween, or in October during a full moon, her statue would turn.
Oh.
And she was turning her back on Pikeville.
A quick break to check into the hotel and grab some food, and we are out to visit Octavia for our first paranormal hunt.
Well, when we first enter the area for the graves, we'll announce, that we're here, we're coming in peace and love. We do not mean any disrespect. I also have a prayer for protection for all of us too, against attachments and stuff. If there's any spirits here by Octavia's monument, you can please let us know if you're here, if you want to interact with us. You can come closer and light up more if you wish. Do you notice, Carol Ann, right where you were standing is where it keeps blinking? Mm-hmm. That's where I was getting the hits on the thing too.
That's the one that lit up.
Yep.
Interesting.
All right, so I have to tell you guys what just happened. So we are here still at Octavia Hatcher's grave, and you can see in the video that we're using these little cat balls, and I've never heard of this before, but it's a cat ball. You can light it up somehow. So you light it up, right? It's a cat toy, And the idea is you put them around, and if there is a ghost or something that wants to talk to you or communicate with you, it will light this up. And I'll be darned if the corner that I was standing when I did the members only video earlier today, that corner that BJ said that she could feel a presence there, and she couldn't say for sure it was Octavia Hatcher, but she just felt that it was female. She could feel something there with me when I was shooting that video. That same corner, that cat ball lit up. Now, you know, we're doing our best to be, I don't want to say skeptical, but, you know, finding reasons when there's reasons. You know, she has we have thermal here as well, and she actually picked up the shape of a body on the thermal, but then we figured out, oh no, it's really not. We were all excited. It looked like there was a ghost standing next to this same gravestone, but then we figured out that it wasn't. It was just a reflection of us. So that was kind of a bummer, but it doesn't change the fact that that cat ball lit up all by itself on that same corner, and none of the other cat balls on the other corners lit up. So is it Octavia? I don't know, but maybe. So here we are, the Hellier gas station. And we actually talked to the people inside, and according to them, things happen here all the time. In fact, I think the quote was, we sit on our porches and we hear noises at night and we tell ourselves that it was a coyote or that it was a cougar, but we know it's not.
Just from things that I've seen here, it's more in the sky than creatures. You know, you hear weird sounds, but there's, you know, weird animals out there too. This summer we were in the pool, and it was about midnight. I was just looking up, and out of the corner of my eye, I seen it looked like it was opaque. It looked like fog. It was in the shape of a crescent. It said it just come straight in, it turned and shot straight over the mountain, quick as a flash. When I was a kid, me, my cousin, two of our friends were at the tree line. 4 big lights came down, lit the whole mountain up. We ran, they took back off.
So interestingly enough, we've now been at the gas station for, I don't know, 30 minutes or something like that. And we've actually managed to talk to quite a few people. And we didn't even set out to talk to anybody in particular. I mean, we thought we'd ask a couple of questions, but no big deal. But most people are like, what are you guys here for? And they're almost a little hostile. Like the last people that my friend and I just talked to, they were almost hostile in telling us we haven't experienced anything. Because we asked them, have you guys experienced anything? They're like, no. And it was almost a hostile vibe until my friend put his camera away. Then all of a sudden it was, well, yeah, I have this friend who knows this cemetery up so-and-so an hour away, and there's a ghost there that if you park there and she doesn't like it, she'll put handprints all over the windshield. And my mother-in-law has seen a few things. And it's almost like things happen all the time, but they're so guarded about the way of life that they have here, and they love it, and they don't want that to change. They like it here this way. It's not that they're afraid of outsiders or something like that, but you know, they just want to keep it close to the vest, that kind of thing, until they realize that you really are good people, you're not jerks, kind of a thing, and then they open up and start telling their stories. So my advice to anybody who wants to spend their life working on the paranormal is move to Kentucky, because this place seems to have stuff going on all the time. So we're gonna hang out here for the day. We've got a couple of places to check out. We're gonna see what we can find. Our new friend Brandon from the town hall meeting puts us in touch with a local guy who has mines on his property that we can explore. So we're here on the property of James Wallace, who is showing us one of several mines on his property. This one's not quite as big, but this one is like the home of cougars and deer and bear and anything else that needs a shelter during the storm. They all like to come in here. And as he's told us, that might also mean a Bigfoot or two.
You're liable to see deer, bear, or cougar.
As a lifelong resident, do you think this could be a spot where perhaps a Bigfoot could lay down for a night?
Why, sure.
And you said earlier you and your kin have seen Bigfoot in this area.
What we've heard, my son-in-law has seen him. I haven't, but I've heard just places that we go see in the mountains, once we get there, and we'll take a break, sitting there having our lunch or whatever, and we'll have tree knocks go on around us. So we always feel like we're being watched. When we go to deep places, you can hear things coming behind you. You can stop walking and you can hear something, continue to walk, and then it'll stop. Bigfoot is real, and he's here.
We're at the second mine that I told you about, but this is it. So guess what? I ain't going in there. But James did tell us that it used to be an active coal mine. His family actually worked it. This used to be a bigger entrance so that they could actually get in there. However, this is also what he said took out his grandfather. His big piece of slate fell down and killed his grandfather. So at some point, his dad decided to kind of try to close it off as much as he could. But it's still a pretty big spooky cavern when you look in there. But even though I'm not going in this one, we are not yet done today. James has one more spot he wants to show us, but the terrain to get there is not for the faint of heart, so he only takes David and Nathanael.
This is probably pound for pound one of the most rugged hollers you will ever put your butt in Kentucky.
This particular cave used to contain the bones and artifacts of some Native Americans, but those bones were taken out a long time ago.
National Geographic ran into something inside this mountain while exploring the caves that made them come back out of there and leave their equipment. That happened in the 80s. There was a group that came in here and wanted to actually go down the creek or the river that runs on the inside of this mountain. It's a huge cave complex. And once you get into it, you can actually run that. And they took a raft with them and was actually running it and went into this section where they had to go under a rock and come up on the other side and was hearing footsteps before they got in there. One of the guys went and explored it. He came back and said, "We got to get out of here." And that happened right here. He wouldn't even say what it was. He wouldn't say if it was Bigfoot or an alien or what he ran into, but he ran into something. And it was bipedal because it was on 2 feet. They could hear bipedal splashes in the room, in the next room. When it was explored, the one explorer that seen what it was will not talk about it at all to this day. We made it to Ash Camp Cave, and here we are. Come on in, guys. Complete with cave crickets. You see some claw marks back in here.
No, thank you. After a brief break for some dinner, we are back at it again. So if it's one thing I can say about Kentucky is they have the nicest people. Oh my gosh. So we got a connection with a local person here. They know a spot. It's a big wide open spot surrounded by a bunch of hills. So we're gonna go and take a look and we're gonna watch the skies. We're gonna watch the hills around us. We're gonna listen, see if we hear anything. So we're just gonna go out hunting whatever we can hunt and see what happens. So we all troop back down close to the Hellier area, but this time in pitch blackness. Things are a little slow at first, but
There was some action going on in the sky. BJ had caught a couple of good pictures on her camera.
Well, while I was looking up in the sky and I seen something up there, suddenly appeared, so I hurried up and took a picture. And then when I went to look at the picture, it's like, whoa, it's like a triangle-shaped ship type deal.
I saw very, very bright for just a second. I mean, it was just like a LED light. It just went woof and then off. And then the next thing I saw was, I don't know, minutes later maybe, or something went like this, and you saw the stream of light come off and went right back to where, and it was like, whoa. And as soon as I saw it, I hear Taz, oh my God, did you see that? That was crazy.
That's the one I saw move.
The brightest one.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw it go. Like it wasn't the clouds floating by. It was fast.
Yeah, it was. That was wild.
It just goes.
It's moving.
So I was sitting there and I noticed one of the white, at first I thought it was a star, and then I watched it and it was flickering and it was kind of moving around. Actually, I saw it kind of moving erratically, kind of zigzagging. And tell me a little bit about the smell.
And I just got this immensely strong, like, it almost smelled like a horse to me. That's why I said to everyone, it smells like a horse. And then it got even more strong, more musky. I just envisioned something over there with all of the different stories. We've all heard about people that have Bigfoot experiences getting this immense smell of something foul, animal-like, musky, and that's exactly what it was. And then it went away. It's not there anymore. It was really strong. I turned the light on and I looked over anywhere I could see, and no movement, but I don't know, that's never happened to me before,
Well, we were hearing like branches breaking, and there were some wood knocks that were heard. David thought he heard a wood knock.
I heard a wood knock from over here.
Yeah.
This hill right here.
We were hearing all that rustling around and activity.
We did hear some things. I did hear kind of a whooping sound off of one side. I know I heard some things in the woods. I'm not sure if it was just branches falling. I know that where my house is surrounded by wood, so I know that dead trees do just shed branches, and that's kind of what it sounded like to me, but there were some parts that sounded more like knocks, so I can't say that they weren't wood knocks. I did kind of smell the same musty odor that the others were smelling before as well. So I don't know, it's just a whole lot of small things that I really don't know what to make of it. All right, so we did our hunt for the evening. It's now like 3:30 in the morning. We are all just dying. A couple people saw some things in the sky. I didn't, and I'm so bummed about that. As soon as they saw it, I turned my chair in that direction and I planted my butt and I sat and I stared into that sky for like an hour and saw like nothing. Was it a complete success? Maybe not, but was it a failure? Not exactly. But our time here is done, so we will be going to bed, getting some sleep, and we gotta get up in the morning and check out and head on home.
Everybody say Hellier! Hellier!
This was just such a mistake. Because it was so much fun, now I want to do it again. I don't know when the next adventure will be or where, so if you guys have any good ideas, be sure to put it in the comments where you'd like us to go next. Might be a while, but until then, be careful out there, and we will see you on the next adventure on the In-Between. Done.
Tag it, bag it.